All right, back to our breaking story at this hour. How will word that Syria reportedly has accepted a deal to give up its chemical weapons to international control now play into President Obama's big speech to the nation tonight? Well, he talked about the possible deal during a media blitz just last night, and Professor Jason Johnson is joining us now about where we go from here. Now, I have to say this is all reportedly because it's coming from a Russian news agency, and I don't know that we have this confirmed yet, but I mean, this changes the landscape.
Yes, it does. And it actually makes the president's speech tonight a lot easier because he can legitimately say, look, just the threat that Congress was going to vote in my favor, even a split Congress, was enough to finally get the Russians off their seats, the Syrians off their seats, to actually work on a deal to eliminate these chemical weapons. So I don't think the president's going to give a victory speech tonight, but I do think he'll be able to say this authorization is important to make sure this deal goes through, and that's a much easier sale.
So this, I wonder, does this change at all the course of that civil war? Because it doesn't look like then you'd be in for any regime change, which, you know, the Obama administration has said they're not interested in anyway.
Yeah, it's not going to change the civil war. There will still be people dying. There will still be massive displacements of refugees. And that's where, say, Senator McCain and several other members of Congress come in. It would be important for the United States to offer humanitarian aid so that the explosion of refugees to other countries doesn't destabilize the region. But what it does do, if chemical weapons are off the table for Assad, it's going to really even up the sides and possibly make it long-term a possibility there could be a peaceful solution.
You know what I don't understand, though? I mean, you know, any possible diplomatic deal is relieving. But I don't understand how this can possibly work. When you do have a civil war, you're going to send in monitors, what? And they're going to look around? How is that supposed to work in a civil war?
Well, so what you're supposedly going to have happen, first off, you know, Assad has never been honest about having chemical weapons. So what he's going to have to do is tell the Russians, who will then sort of sneak a note over to the UN and say, this is where the chemical weapons are being held. Then they'll have to send in inspectors to find out where all the stockpiles are. And then they'll have to develop a process for those to be taken over by the UN and then taken out. So it's a difficult process. But I think even the rebels would be happy to know that Assad is giving these up. And it could be a little bit of a ceasefire while this happens.
All right. Thank you so much, Jason Johnson.